Hi, folks. I'm Nicole with Asheville Wellness Tours, and I'm excited to introduce the latest episode in our weekly series, Bite Sized Moments of Zen. It's an invitation to pause wherever you are, whenever you can, and have local wellness experts from Asheville, North Carolina bring tips, insights, and practices we can all lean into. I'm excited to introduce today's guest, Lisa Zahiya, the owner of Studio Zahiya in downtown Asheville. I hope you'll enjoy Lisa's story and then 20 minutes of moving your body. As Lisa says, dance promotes joy and joy can change your life.
Hello, Lisa Zahiya. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited that you're here. I'm wondering if you can just give a quick overview of what you're doing and maybe a short story as to how you got here.
Sure. So I'm going to start with this story, which is that I grew up my whole life dancing, and it is the great love of my life. And not just dancing, but how it transformed how I feel about myself and how I see now how it makes women and people in general change how they feel about themselves and how they move through the world. I always danced and I loved it, but I was also good at tests and academics. So I got put on this one road, which was like, go get this job, go do this thing. At about 26, I found myself kind of sad and a little disappointed in life and missing dance. And I was about to go to law school, and I called my mom and said, I don't think I want to do this. I think I want to open a dance studio. And she said, the time is now. So she's like, you can go to law school whenever you want. So sort of like with that energy, I was living in Baltimore, and I moved to Asheville, North Carolina, which then was like a weird and wonderful place, and opened this dance studio within a year, Studio Zahiya, which is a dance studio which at its heart and at its mission is about the fact that everybody should move and that dance promotes joy and joy can change your life. So here we are, 14 years later. I have done this. I've also traveled the world teaching belly dance, which is my great dance love. And then through that, started working with women, speaking to women. So I'm also a life coach, and I help women run businesses in a way that feels good to, and special to them. And then I'm also a speaker. So I just threw my life up in the air, and here's how it landed. And it's been just a really special journey. I always said I ran away and joined the circus, and the circus was Asheville.
But anybody who's living in Asheville has a wonderful, eclectic variety of backgrounds and stories and skills and things they bring to the table. It feels like no other place I've been.
Yeah, it's really interesting to come to a place that why people come for the tribe, and people come for the nature, and people come for what has been creatively developed here, whether it's the Biltmore and something that was built a really long time ago, or the art scene, which is new, or even like craft food and beverage. It's creation and it's creativity. And I think that that's really cool and interesting. And you're seeing people start to go to places for like-mindedness, like-minded experiences, rather than just another place to go.
Yeah, I think all of the things that you mentioned too with that creativity bit, it's an encouragement to step inside and see what do I have rolling around in here, and what inspiration might I find, which speaks to the joy that you're mentioning that's at the heart of the mission of your studio.
Yeah, so part of also how I ended up here is that when I grew up, I was like on a professional dance track, and it was about not just what it felt like, which is what I loved, but what it looked like. And I decided to create a dance experience that removed that and removed who you were supposed to be, what you were supposed to look like. So this, I always say in my house, which is my studio, you get to be whoever you want for that hour, for that minute, and hopefully that can step into your life. And it's the same thing no matter where you're dancing. It's about moving your body and what it feels like, and not about what it looks like. So that's how we've ended up here, and it explains a lot of the kinds of dancing we have. So we both have like cultural source dancing, so belly dance, samba, Indian dance, Indian folk dances, as well as using dance as a fitness modality. So I teach hip hop cardio, which is like formatted like Zumba, which is lead and follow. But to me, it's really about how can this make you feel? and not necessarily what do you need to look like, which I think is a great thing for all women all the time.
It's an incredibly powerful message, and one that I don't feel like people receive often. And so I really value what you're doing. I know many people who have been through your studio doors and just, they come out glowing and they can't stop talking about it. And I just think what a beautiful offering to be sending out into the world, is that each person that steps in is able to hopefully connect with that joy and leave shame and image and all of these other things behind, and then they in turn step out of the door and spread that
yes,
that joy to others. Is amazing.
Yeah, and it's just the idea that that's infectious. Like, I think part of what I figured out was how to just be okay with myself, and then realizing that people get inspired by that. And if we can have women, people, but I really am attached to women and girls feeling like that, the whole world can change.
Yeah. Tell me about your the kids classes.
That is like, if there's one thing I would never give up, it's the kids. So we have lots of programming for kids within the same styles we teach, but I also teach a class called Girl Power, which is only about expression. So it's also about co-creation, where we take an idea, and I teach some of the like restraints of dance, like this is how many times you would do something, and then allow them to create within it, whether it's a dance about ice cream or a dance about birds. And seeing how that, and talking also, like weaving in some talking about what it is to be a powerful woman. And it's really cool to watch them do that.
I want to ask you this question in case there are any other little bits that we've missed, but I feel like the heart of your mission, it has been woven into all of the stories that you've told so far. But is there any other bit that really gets down to the why you do what you do?
We have a big poster. We have 2 studios. So the one across the hall, there's a big poster that has the studio rules. And the first one says, no negative comments about you, yourself, or your body. You're beautiful the way you are. And that's the heart of my mission.
I love that. Now, while I always would like to know what resources people are leaning into, I especially love to know now, are there resources that you're leaning into now, or just in life in general?
Yeah. So it's really interesting, because actually with this, I'm teaching dance more than I have in a long time. So I was still teaching 5 classes a week, but now I'm teaching every day, multiple times a day. And it's making me lean back on movement as a healing modality. And whether that is, I mean, there's a science behind it, like the chemicals that you produce when you move, but also just like really that giving myself permission to be happy during this, and realizing that that's important. And realizing that like I can be more empathetic and kind and caring and hold space for other people when I'm happy. So that's probably my biggest one, is dancing, and like dancing for fun. And it's really interesting, because now I've gone from like, I am an extrovert, that's probably not surprising, with people everywhere, and to like me dancing towards a laptop. But like allowing myself to lean into that, because I actually get a little sillier. I'm like, I start to be like, oh, because that's just me in a room. And that's really been fun. But other things I feel like I have been doing is breath work. But this is interesting, because I do a fair amount of yoga, and also like do breath work classes, but doing it in a way that just feels good, and also being careful not to get too rigid about it, especially given the kind of disease this is, because I had a teacher be like, don't start worrying about your breath, because you're gonna but just relying on breath has felt really good. The other thing is like realizing that I know what I need. I tend to be a person who helps other people and works really hard, but like yesterday I was like, I'm done, laid down, read a book. And realizing, giving myself permission for that. The other biggest thing that has helped me is and this is relevant to right now, but leaning into my teachers, like whether it's books, whether it's like, I got out a Ram Dass book, I got out, listened to the Brene Brown podcast. She like explained everything I was feeling, and I was like, oh, okay,
She's a magician that way.
Really was like cleaning my kitchen, listening to it, and I went, like, she was like, give yourself permission to be empathetic towards yourself, because it'll allow you to be, because I was having like guilt about nothing's really wrong, you know? And she's like, you're one, I am dealing with some loss of business. And, but the other one is like, there's a loss of normalcy. So, but whoever you've relied upon before as like a teacher or a voice, like I sought that out, and that's been helpful.
I love that. I continue to receive really lovely resource lists in my email inbox every day, and it feels overwhelming. Like, now's the time to, if you can't produce at work, now's the time to produce in your personal life and try all these new things. And I love what you said about leaning into the practices you already have in place, even if you haven't visited them in a while. Using that, you already know some things. Go there. You don't have to try something new. And if you have the capacity to try something new, it can be fun and enriching to sample some different things. But I think it's important to note that you don't have to. That self-care and self-awareness are very important, and they don't require new things. I love that you said that.
And I think that we can lean into our own wisdom. Like, I think that doing the overproduction is also a coping mechanism, which is fine. But I do think that people don't need to tell everybody else what to do. But that's just.
I happen to agree with your opinion. So we'll count that as a check.
If you want to learn how to do a handstand right now, go to town. If you want to lay on the couch, go to town. I think both are people's way of dealing with something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I love that, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate what you're sharing with us today, which could be a revisiting of a resource that people already have, dance and movement. And it might be something that folks are going to try out for the first time. You want to kind of give an intro to what you're sharing?
Yes. So this is a slow flow belly dance class. So here's the thing, what I would call on everyone to do is it does not matter what it looks like. The beauty of what's happening right now that I've been getting lots of feedback, people are like, nobody can see me. It is what it is. So I really am incorporating some breath and some slowness with belly dance, which is what I'm sharing. And I want you to really lean into, what does this feel like? With the belly dance, and realizing that this is a dance form that is a folk dance. It is from people. So it's ways that people have dealt with things and celebrated in the Middle East for a long time. So we can sort of lean into that. And it is about how you feel and not about what you look like. So I hope everyone enjoys that.
Yeah. Let's take a look.
Good. Deep breath. Good. And exhale. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Up and over. Thinking about connecting your breath. Drop your arm. Come up. Good. 1 more. Good. 4 shoulder rolls. Good. Reach to the right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach forward. Forward. Back. Forward. Back. 2 more. Hips. Up. Breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Plie. Bend. Up. Bend. Up. 2 more. Bend. Up. Bend. Up. Breathe. Up. Down. 2 more. Good. Walk your feet in. Toes forward. Tuck the pelvis under. Zip up. Shoulders back. Arms up. Breathe. Right up. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Good. Take your hip up, toes stay down. Up. Bring your hip to the rib cage. Up, 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 up. Little faster. Good. Standing tall, arms out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Off. Up, up. Going faster. Beautiful. Breath. Good. Soft knees. Slide the hip to the right and then to the left. Right, left. Right, left, right, left. Good. Beautiful. Same arm. Big smile. Make it big. Step out. Twist the hip. Forward. 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 Faster. Bring it. Step it out. 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 Breathe. Arm. Good. Hips, we're gonna go forward. Make a circle. Making an E. Take your arm. Go faster. Really big. Four more. Forward. Forward. Back. Half circle. Forward. Pull it in. Take your hand. Breathe. Good. Feet slightly wider apart. You're going to start to the right. You're going to make a half circle in front of you and then behind you. Little circle around the body. I'm going to go 4, 3, 2, 1. Back. I'm going to speed it up. So I'm going to go 1, 2. Side to side. Big breath. Reach. Take your chest up, down. Pelvis is still. Expand the rib cage. 4, 3, 2, 1. Up. 4, 3, 2, 1, arm up. Good. You're going to take your rib cage to the right, up, left, back. Right, up, left, back. So you're going to breathing, creating that spiral in the body. Other way. Two each way. I'm going to go, excuse me, other way. Two more. Four more. Good. We're going to move our feet. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2. Push the hips. Forward, back. One more. Two more. Four more. Breathe. Beautiful. Amazing work. I hope you enjoyed that. That is some basics of belly dance. I'd love to have you. We are teaching a full suite of classes online. It is Studio Zahiya, ZAHIYA.com, where you can send me a message with any questions. Deep breath. We're all in this together. Thank you so much for dancing with me. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for that. I will be slow belly dancing every day if I can. And I love that you're here. I'm grateful that you're here. And I'm wondering if people want to continue to pursue what you're offering or connect with you, where can they find you?
Yes. So we have everything up at studiozahiya.com, which is like my last name is on here, Zahiya. And we both have on demand, which are pre-recorded classes that you can do for a rental. And they're inexpensive, or we have a schedule of live classes, which includes belly dance, the hip hop fitness, lots of options. So we'd love to see you there.
Well, thank you again so much. And I hope you're enjoying this lovely spring weather, and be well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go team. High five.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Enjoy.